Hello, everybody. It is Michael here from My Retirement Trading, and I just had the pleasure of interviewing Marcos Milla on my new series, The Transparent Trader Confidential. And it was a very good interview. And I had actually met Marcos in person. Me and my wife did at the Blossom Social Investor Tour in New York City at the NASDAQ. And we both were very impressed with him. And I'm actually very impressed how much he has accomplished at his age. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, everybody. It is Michael here from My Retirement Trading. And today I am starting a new series, The Transparent Trader Confidential. But before I get into that, I must state that none of this is financial advice or a recommendation, and it is for entertainment purposes only. So with that being said, let's welcome our special guest, a finance YouTuber with over 49,000 subscribers and over 8,000 followers on Blossom. Let's welcome Marcos Milla.
Happy to be here. Super excited.
Well, Marcos, tell a little bit about yourself and how you got into investing and what was your first purchase?
Yeah, so my name is Marcos Milla. I am 25 years old. I got to stop getting used to saying 24. I just turned 25. So 25, got started investing when I was, I believe, 17, and then just ramping up my investing throughout the years. Started investing in just graduated high school into my first year of college. Bought VOO back when it was, I think, under $500, way under that, and just fell in love with ETFs. So learned a lot about ETFs just on my own. Went to school at UC San Diego, graduated with a degree in economics and a minor in finance. Went to work in the industry in finance, and specifically in the banking sector. And just throughout the whole time, I just became obsessed with investing in ETFs. It's something that I love to do, and it's something that I wake up every day trying to make content on YouTube for people about it. And I just every dollar I make, I try to dump it into the market because I know that long term it's going to grow and hopefully have a good nest egg long term for retirement. But first, investment, yeah, VOO by Vanguard, love it. It's been great to me. I think I made about like $40,000 plus in gains. Top holding, I think I have about over half of my net worth in it. And yeah, just been rolling with VOO, buying it, and all my funds as well.
So, why did you choose VOO?
Yeah, great question. So when I first started investing, no clue what it was. All I know is that my dad taught me that I had to get money in the market. So I just let him do his thing, and he chose VOO. And it's been something that it's just been my dad's thing, my family's thing to buy VOO. And now it's because when I did my own digging in it, it's because I love the diversification of it. You get 500 different companies that best represent the US economy, mostly into large caps. You also get a pretty solid lower dividend yield, but it's still solid over 1%. It grows year over year like a dividend growth ETF, but this one's not. It's more for capital appreciation. You get some of the best companies in the whole entire world all into this one basket of 500 companies. There's a committee that chooses some of the best companies to go in, super highly profitable index. It has technology, every sector in the market that you could think of. And it's one that I believe, long term, I comfortably could buy and hold it and sleep well at night.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite as well. So how did your strategy evolve since you first started trading or investing?
Yeah, it was 100% VOO for quite a while. And then it became adding in new funds because when I was making my channel, it was all VOO. And then I realized that a lot of people weren't going all in VOO like me. So it kind of evolved to keep up with the growth. So I love growth investing. I think for my age and somebody who wants to maximize total returns, it's going to be the best thing for me, at least, to have lower dividend yields, no dividends, if much at all. I think out of my portfolio, I believe I received just over like $4,000 in dividends, if that. And my portfolio is about $350,000. And That's not a lot of dividends, right? But now it's evolved to adding some more growth like ETFs. So I've added SCHG by Charles Schwab, really solid large cap growth fund. I also have QQQM by Invesco, the NASDAQ 100. I love that one as well. People always tell me, like, why do you have both? And it's because I like the NASDAQ 100, but also, it excludes stocks from the New York Stock Exchange. So SCHG has stocks from both stock exchanges of the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange. So I don't want to like leave any stocks out of that index. So I love both of them. I also added AOTG, which is my favorite fund. It's one that's creeping up. It's been one of my best performers since I bought it. Well, at least not totally, but best performers as of recently. And it's a growth and innovation ETF. I love that one by John Tinsman. Love that ETF. It's been beating SPMO like this last year, beating VOO, beating SCHG. So love that one as well. Added a little bit of Bitcoin and gold with BTGD. That's probably one of my favorite ones because David Jacansky from Quantified Funds manages that one, and I love that fund as well. But keeping the same system of VOO as a core, adding in some growth from QQQM, SCHG, AOTG, a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of gold, and I also have a VTI as well. And people are going to say, like, why do you got VTI? Because my 401k doesn't offer VOO. So that's why I have VTI. Overlap is fine, but I'm fine with VTI in the 401k.
So, what type of investor would you consider yourself?
Yeah, easily a growth. Growth only, higher risk investor. Out of like 1 to 5, 1 being low risk, 5 being high risk, I would say I'm definitely 5. Just because pure equities, mainly technology is a sector, concentrated only to US stocks. So I would say high risk investor, growth investor with no dividends much at all.
So, do you have a favorite index such as the Nasdaq or the S&P, or a little bit of both, or how would you describe your favorite?
I would say a little bit of both. I like the S&P just because that one's like peace of mind, diversification. You can just see the US economy and kind of know how it's doing based off that index. I also like the NASDAQ 100 a lot because that one's mainly tech focused. You have a lot of low marginal cost companies that have, super high profit margins. That there's a reason why that index has been beating the S&P over the last decade, because you have those low marginal cost companies more. They grow the revenues more than the S&P 500 on average, and also I believe that index is also a touch more profitable than the S&P, but that one has more technology, which is my favorite sector. And so technology has been the name of the game for the past decade. So it's been doing way better than the S&P just because of that sector.
So, how often do you trade?
Trade. So I would say trading none, but in terms of like buying ETFs, I would buy on like a weekly basis. So I rarely sell ETFs at all. I don't think I've sold a single share of VOO, single share of triple QM or SCHG or whatever. But I would say also to kind of follow that up, I did hold SCHD at one point, but I sold it for AOTG. But that's a rare case where I ever sell an ETF, mainly buying it. I would say I love lump summing more than dollar cost averaging, just because time in the market to me is more than anything than timing the market. And yeah, just weekly basis, buying my ETFs.
So you don't really wait for red days or anything. You just buy as you have the money, or
Yeah, you give me $100,000 or put it all in tomorrow.
okay, very good. So, do you like any dividend ETFs or income ETFs?
Yeah, as somebody who I interview a lot of CEOs with income funds, and I've know quite a bit about dividend ETFs. They have a time and place for people, just not for my portfolio. Dividend ETFs, I love SCHD. I love DGRO more. I love dividend ETFs that have the dividend growth in the methodology just as the goal of the fund. So DGRO is a perfect example. I like FDVV by Fidelity too. Like I said before, like SCHD, DGRO, FDVV, those are like my top 3 dividend ETFs only. And then for income funds, there's so many we could talk about, but I love Neos. Neos is my favorite issuer, but by far, by like a huge margin. I like SpyEye, Triple QI, BTCI by them. They have a whole lineup that you could just create whichever type of like basket you want. They have real estate, they have gold, they have long equity, hedged equity, cash and bonds and whatnot. So Neos is my favorite issuer. Kind of a more reliable yields, a more, I guess, not super high distributions, monthly income, tax efficiency, stable distributions, and they try to not over distribute to really affect your NAV. And then I also do like other issuers too. I think Curve is doing great things. Tap Alpha is doing great things. Curve has got KYLD, KQQQ doing great things in the industry. T-Spy, TDAC by Tap Alpha. And then we could get into like other issuers, but I would say for like the super higher yielding ones, I would say Roundhill's doing something different than a lot of the other issuers in the market.
So, if you had to pick your top 3 stocks or ETFs, what would they be?
Top 3. Let's go with ETFs. I'll go with both actually. So let's go with top 3 like long-term focused ETFs. I would say, oh man, number 1 would be VOO. Number 2 would be AOTG. And then number 3 would be SEHG. And then I would go like, let's go with income funds, right? So I would say income and dividend funds, number 1 for me would be QQQI. Number 2 would be TDAC. And then number 3 would be KQQQ by Curve. And then, for stocks, stocks is an interesting one. I don't follow stocks too much just because I'm an ETF only channel. That's all we do is ETFs. So I would say for stocks, it's going to be, I don't know, I'm going to go with like Nvidia and then Microsoft and then something like probably whatever's like, Robinhood. There we go. Robinhood. It'd be Nvidia, Microsoft, Robinhood.
Good choices. If you could only choose one ETF, period, what would it be?
VOO, like hands down, easily.
Hands down, VOO. What about single stocks? If you could only choose one,
single stocks. Oh man, I would probably say it would just be something that's going to be here for like decades and decades. I don't know. I'll probably go with, I don't know, Microsoft. I'll probably go with Microsoft. I feel like that's going to be a stock that's going to be here for decades, but also has, or Google. Oh man, there's so many companies with individual stocks. It's like you can't just pick one or two. It's like, and then you could even get into like single stock income funds because those are really cool too, right? You got the exposure to the underlying with income, but oh man, I would just go with Microsoft or Google on that one.
All right, and I got one final question. So, what do you think about Bitcoin, and are you bullish on Bitcoin?
Yeah, Bitcoin. I have a small exposure to Bitcoin in an ETF. It's BTGD by Quantify Funds. And of course, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I own it. I think with the whole like currency debasement trade, with the government printing all this money and flooding our economy with, money that we kind of don't need to devalue our currency, I feel like gold and Bitcoin are like prime cases for that. Like that's a super bullish case for Bitcoin and gold. But for Bitcoin with the low mining rates, it's not like we're printing all this money. Like you can't, if there's a finite amount of Bitcoin, there's not, an unlimited amount of Bitcoin that it could just like be diluted or whatnot. So for Bitcoin, yes, I'm bullish on it. I think there's a long-term case for it. For me, it's something that's going to be like a lower portion of my portfolio just for risk reasons. And in terms of like price targets, I think people were saying like 145, 150 next year, but who knows? We'll see. I know that there's a lot of bullish cases from institutions in retail and Bitcoin, but it doesn't hurt to have a small exposure to it.
So, what does the future hold for you?
Oh man, future. In terms of what? Like what specifically?
Business and life.
Oh man, business and life. I don't know. I have a lot of goals, so I kind of want to get to like 500,000 in the portfolio next year. I think that's a pretty achievable with how I'm doing with my income and how I'm making money for myself. And then in terms of like ETFs, just continuing the same strategy. Life, I don't know. I'm just taking my time, taking my weeks, week by week. And I think as a influencer, like a YouTuber or somebody that's like always, trying to make money, which the goal of an ETF channel is to like show some good ETFs. People can make money on it, right? There's always a bigger picture, right? Like family, friends, taking care of yourself. So for me, like people ask me like next year, like my family, like what would be successful for you? Like, right, the channel's been going well, your portfolio's been doing super well. I think this year I made like 60 something $1,000 in the portfolio, just doing nothing, passively, just letting the money grow. And for me, it's just success for me next year would be just being present with my family and friends and loved ones, and just continuing to be a good person. That's just my biggest take is like we could all argue or complain about like the best ETFs, the best stocks to buy, what's the market going to be doing the next year, why, President Trump is saying this to make the market go down. We're seeing red days, rumors. And to me, the bigger picture is like, are you a good person? What kind of things are you doing to take care of yourself and put yourself in a good position for the next 5 or 10 years? When I started, my portfolio, I think I was 22 years old working at Domino's. Had like $10,000 to my name, maybe like $20,000 to my name when I was like 21. And I kind of knew like I was going to be at this position at some point just because of how I was as a person, just hardworking. But the biggest thing for me is, like I said before, like growing every day, learning new people, always saying yes and trying to not say no to like opportunities. And to me, like that's going to be the biggest thing for me is, can I be a good person? Could I grow? And could I help others? That's so important. Helping others is so important. If you're too selfish to like not help others, then to me it's like you're not gonna get that far in life. So I'm just trying to grow the channel, help others, and hop on this amazing podcast that you have, and hopefully give some knowledge to other investors on the other side.
So you have $350,000 at 25 years old.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. I didn't even have that at 40, so you've done very well. Where can people reach you at?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. It's just my name, Marcos Milla. Post ETF content on there. Mainly, I do I call it the ETF Academy Show, which is basically I interview CEOs of income and growth companies, retail investors like yourself. I think Michael, you've been on the channel as well, and I just post ETF content weekly, all the time.
And then they can reach you on Blossom too.
Yeah, Blossom. Yep, there we go. On Blossom, you guys could check it out. I think it'll be in like the link in the description, hopefully. And yeah, you can follow me on Blossom. I think Blossom is like the best platforms to connect with other investors. I use it every single day, and it's so transparent to see everybody's portfolio and what everybody's buying and what they're looking at in the market.
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on to the channel for the season of the Transparent Trader Confidential. So thank you so much for coming on to the channel. And do you have anything else to add on closing?
No, I think this has been great. You've been growing your channel, and I would just say, investors need to just keep up what you're doing. Just keep on dollar cost averaging, keep on lump summing or however you buy. Keep up your own strategy. There's so many ETFs to choose from. So the biggest thing is getting your strategy set and just doing what you do best, buying and holding, maybe for trading some equities or some ETFs, trimming some positions, rebalancing your portfolio, if that's your cup of tea. But just being long term and always helping others. Like I said before, growth, help others, and money's awesome, money's cool, but over time, you get to a 350 in their portfolio. Now I want to do 500. And then it's like, what's going to be next? 750, then a million, then what is it? 2, 3, 4, 5. So taking some time to really celebrate yourself because, I remember once you hit 100,000, you think you're set. And then you look on Blossom, you see someone with like 2 million. And then you see someone with like 500,000. You're like, oh man, my $100,000 is nothing. But just really celebrating yourself and having your own path and knowing that your investing journey is different from somebody else's.
Well, everybody, check out Marco's YouTube channel. I'll have a link in the description for it. And check him out on blossomsocial.com. With that being said, we will catch you all later.